Hi guys, my name is Archana Raman and I'm a pediatric and adult occupational therapist, and today we're going to be talking about periods advice for girls. A lot of parents approach me and they tell me that they're very afraid that the child is coming closer to the age where they're going to menstruate and they're not sure how to prepare the child. So today's advice is going to be all about that. I will be looking at my cue card here to the right side, so if I keep looking other way, that's because I'm looking at my list of cues to talk to you. So the first advice I have for you is be clear about the body part names. Otherwise, it gets very confusing. A lot of parents use terminologies for male and female puberty body parts like vajayjay, or they may call the boy's body part as wee. Instead, use the correct anatomical and medical names, because when you do that, it avoids confusion for the child. And as such, the child on the spectrum or with ADHD or any other conditions like dyslexia and Down syndrome might have difficulties learning things. So if you use terms that are colloquially used, it cannot be publicly used when they have to go and ask help from the school nurse, the school doctors, or it may be difficult for them to communicate when they visit a friend's house with a friend's mom, and so on. So use the correct medical terminology is my first piece of advice to you. The second thing is start talking about periods a few years before it's going to come. Based on the race, periods come at different times. So for some races, girls come of age between 7 to 10 years of age, and for some races between 11 and 13 to 14 years of age. On the whole, it's a 2 to 3 year process from the development of breasts to body odor, hormonal changes, and then getting the actual period. So start talking about it a few years ahead of time to prepare your child for that. The third thing is, while talking about period, don't refer to your period as Auntie Flo is coming or chums. Refer to your period as a menstrual cycle, so that this will again avoid confusion for your daughter. The fourth thing is, there are several books for girls about puberty. I like this book called The Growing Up Guide for Girls. Attaching a picture here. Show pictures of girls in various sizes and shapes to your daughter. So you can show real life pictures, you can show drawn pictures, vector images, to get your daughter to know that your body won't remain in the same size or shape, and girls come in various sizes and shapes, and it's okay. So this creates a good body acceptance for your daughter, and they then don't develop conditions like overeating or overeating so that they put on weight and look good. Or some of the children undereat because they think once they hit puberty they're going to balloon out, so they have to stay in a good size 0, if you like, and shape. So you can just talk to them about that girls come in all sizes and shapes, and there'll be a bit of breast enlargement and hip enlargement and so on. One other thing is talking about wearing a bra. I find that when girls use a sports bra, it's easier for them because it goes on from the top of your head like a t-shirt. Also, what you can do is get a white sports bra, and then if you go to cloth dye stores in your wholesale markets, you can dye the bra in your daughter's favorite color, say pink or yellow, and then you can get from haberdashery stores or from embroidery stores, you can get little stickers like what was their favorite iron-on stickers onto the bra, so that you can then entice or attract your daughter to wear a bra, because getting the message across to a special child that a bra is important is a bit difficult. You can also have social narratives about wearing a bra. Towards the end of this video, I'll tell you what a social narrative is, and I will also read out a social narrative to you. So hang on for that part, it is very important. You also need to plan whether to use a pad or a tampon or a menstrual cup. A pad is very easy to use because it doesn't involve frequent changing like you have to do with a tampon. With a tampon, if you don't change it at regular intervals, you can get bacterial infections, which can then be dangerous for your daughter. And a lot of children on the spectrum do not have a sense of time. So what I mean by that is a tampon has to be changed every 2 to 3 hours or a max of 4 hours. So if your daughter doesn't remember to do that, then she can end up having the old tampon in the vagina, and that can lead to a bacterial infection, serious infection. So pads are easy to use. There are a few things you can do with pads. The first thing is you can get a white underwear or a light colored underwear, and a few years before the onset of period you can start teaching the child as to where the pad has to be placed, because there are pads of different kinds. There are pads with narrow ends in the front and broad ends at the back, correct? So, and pads with wings, and then pads made from ecological fiber, natural pads, cloth pads, and so many different varieties, and pads that have the sticky side underneath and pads that don't have the sticky side underneath. So all these can be very confusing for a child. Children on the spectrum can have visuospatial issues, so they wouldn't know where to place the pad in relation to their knicker. So they might place the pad upside down, the sticky side up, or they might not know that the wider part comes at the back of the knicker and the narrow part comes at the front of the knicker. So I'll now show you an example of what you can do. So here's a tip for you to do to teach your daughter ahead of time. Practice this a year or two ahead of time before they hit their period about how the pad can go on. So you can take a pair of practice knickers, and then what I've done is take a simple packet of stickers. These are bindis, and I've taken a light color that's contrasting to the knicker, and I've put 2 dots here, one white and one yellow. Doesn't have to be the same color, but I've just added some contrast. And if you can see, this is a pad that's really, really long. So it will come all the way from the front to the back. It's a really huge pad. It's nice and thin as well. So children who have sensory issues will not find it lumpy or bumpy, and they will not try to get rid of the pad within a few hours or few minutes of having it on. You have to be very careful about what kind of pad suits your daughter. So I would say have a variety of pads to trial, pads with scent, non-scented pads, and even with non-scented pads, children on the spectrum can pick up the scent. You can have ecological pads, and there are pads for your child with endometriosis or PCOD made from natural fiber that you get overseas in the UK and the States, made from bamboo fiber, which are very good because they're non-toxic and do not release those harmful chemicals like bleach, which are there in normal pads. So let me explain the purpose of these dots here. So if your child has a visual perception issue, first of all, they won't know the front of the underwear to the back. So you'll have to teach them the front is a narrow part and the back of your underwear has a broader triangle. Okay, and then you also have to teach them that this is the top part and this is the bottom part. And then you'll have to teach them that this is the sticky side of the pad. I haven't removed the sticky bit for purposes of convenience. And then you can teach them that the narrow part aligns itself here and the wider part down there. So the stickers are like visual markers, if you like, to give them structure to know where to start sticking the pad. So you can teach them something like, if you have a smaller pad, okay, the top edge of the pad will stick itself right there, and the middle bit of the pad will stick itself on the second sticker, and then you can turn the knicker over and you can say you have to fold it over and put 2 more stickers on the other side. And you can say, again, repeat the same process on the back side. I've seen that a lot of accidents happen if you don't teach your daughter how to place her pad properly. One other problem can be that if your daughter does not carry a spare pad or a spare knicker in her bag, and if she soils one, then she won't have another to use. So plan for that as well. So the next tip I have for you is, I'll take you through a social narrative for menstruating towards the end of this video, and I'll read it out to you. So social narratives are much easier for your daughter to understand about what's happening during a menstruation, what is the difference between spotting and an actual bleed, and that it's okay that you will find certain changes in your body when you bleed. If your child is used to wearing long or short skirts for physical education, or because they're visiting, it's a religious thing, they're wearing half skirts and all, there have been a lot of incidents where the pad does not sit properly and it falls out. So it's best to get them shorts or underwear with legs, or to top up the underwear with an extra pair of shorts on top so that the pad stays in place. Okay. Okay, now the next thing is to plan for the period. So like I said, start all this training a few years ahead of time, or at least a year ahead of when you think the changes are about to happen. And have a card in which you can have a timetable of when to change the pads. So a child on the spectrum, or a child with SPD or cognitive loss or dyslexia might not realize when their pad is full and they need a change. So what you can devise is, I've made a timetable in the past where I've written out certain times of the day when the pad needs to be changed. So you can make a checklist and say 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1:30 p.m., 3:30 p.m., 5:30 p.m. and so on one side, and then a tabular column which says, have I changed my pad? And then your daughter has to change the pad and then check the list off. This is going to act as a memory aid to change the pad at frequent intervals. You can initially get the help of teachers for this, and you can also get the help of any school assistant. So if you're doing it at home, you do it with your daughter until they become independent. And then there'll be a stage when they get independent, and that's when you can wean off this help. But do give them this card at home. You can stick this card on the wall where they remember, because this is a non-school time if they're at home, or when they go to school, you can give this card to them in a small purse that they carry, or if they have a pocket in their skirt, they can carry it in that, or a coat pocket, they can carry it in that, and then tick this off. In order to incentivize this and to make this a good habit, what you can say is, if you do this 3 or 4 times, and if you get to be independent with this, at the end of the day, you get extra 20 minutes to play a board game with your sister. Or if they don't have a sibling and you're doing this training at home, every time that they do it, once they've successfully changed their pad at a regular interval, you can then give them an incentive of, get them extra 10 minutes to play, or play a board game with them, and so on. Okay. Also, have a calendar on which you can mark off when your daughter had a cycle, so that you know how long the cycle lasts every month. Initially, when your child starts having a period, the period wouldn't be regular. So if you have a calendar where you mark off the dates, then you can know an approximate time as to when the cycle is going to occur. The other part of planning is you need to think about, is she going to hold her spare pad inside a little purse, a fancy purse that she likes that looks good, or is she going to put it in a backpack? And also, are you going to pair an extra pair of panties in her bag? And one most important thing is pain and addressing pain. Children on the spectrum can be nonverbal or limited in how much they can express or understand, and they can go through pain very silently. And when your child, there are conditions where the child does not perceive pain as much and express pain. If there are issues with interoception is the eighth sense. So for this, what you can do is get a chart paper and create out different options for pain, and then your child can choose what method of pain management she wants to choose. I will touch on this on a separate topic, and just briefly touching on it. So you can have a little chart, and you can tell your daughter, if you have pain, I'm just going to tell you a few medications that are commonly used. I cannot prescribe medications, guys, so you have to go to your doctors for medical advice. But just for an example, I'm going to tell you these medication names. So you can tell your daughter, if you're in pain, you can use ibuprofen, which is an NSAID, or you could use Buscopan, which will relieve you of spasms, or you could choose to use a hot water rubber bottle. Go to your school teacher and ask for some hot water, fill it up, and go to a private place and keep it on your stomach. Or if you're cramping with pain, you can get electric heating pads. So towards the end of this video, again, I will show you what an electric heating pad is. You can get it online, or you could go to big pharmacies and ask for them. So your daughter can then point to what type of pain relieving modality she chooses to relieve herself of the pain, because it's really terrible to suffer in pain silently. And you can also, if the pain is very frequent, you can ask your doctors, do not feel shy, ask your doctors to look into whether there are associated conditions like endometriosis, polycystic ovarian disease or syndrome, and have it treated appropriately. Okay, so now we are going to go into the social narrative part, and I'll show you what a social narrative is. So guys, this is a social narrative about wearing a bra. A social narrative is nothing but a story-like format of why it's okay to wear a bra, and this is easier for the child to understand, for your daughter on the spectrum to understand. So this is not my work, guys, it's from Able to Learn. And if you see, it starts off with wearing a bra is okay, and then it says my body is changing, I'm growing, my breasts will grow, all girls' breasts grow. And then there's a little picture there. Guys, if you have a little child next to you watching this, please make sure you don't have any little children next to you watching this, because there are certain slightly graphic images. And then the next line is my body is changing, I'm growing, my breasts will grow, all girls' breasts grow. And then here's the bit where it says all women and girls wear bras every day. A bra will cover her breast and hold it. And big girls wear bras, a bra will cover her breast and hold it. So for the child that doesn't understand words very well, there are pictures that amalgamate words and pictures together so that they understand the meaning of what's being said to them. And then when it's time, my mom or teacher will help me buy a bra from a store. When it's time, my mom or teacher will help me buy a bra from store, and pictures there. The sales girl will measure me with a tape and change room. This will not hurt, because some children assume that it might hurt. Wearing a bra may feel uncomfortable. This is okay. Soon I will be used to it. I will wear my clothes over my bra, and no one should see my bra. So this goes on for many pages like this, for about 12 pages, and you can get this resource free online. Hi guys, here is another social narrative, and this is specifically about handling a person's period. You can find this resource free online. So I like this social narrative because it's got lovely pictures and it's easy to understand. So it goes like, bodies are pretty amazing. As I grow up, my body will start to make changes. When I was born, I was a baby with no teeth. As time has passed, I have grown hair on my head and other parts of my body. This is normal part of growing up, and my body is amazing. So the next page says, because I'm growing up as a woman, my body will change different ways than a man's body will. I will grow breasts and hair on my armpits, private area. So in this section, it talks about the changes that the body goes through. And the next section talks about the hormonal changes. Sometimes I will get sad and angry. And sometimes I won't even know why. I have put some videos on emotion management. You can look at that, and if you need more videos, let me know in the comments box below. Another big change in my body will go through is called a period. So now look, there are nice pictures about underwear and how to clean a soiled place. So if I don't take care of my private area when I'm on a period, I will make a big mess. Blood might show on my pants or leave stains where I sit. That means if I don't take care of my period myself, I make people uncomfortable. They might even have to clean up after me. To take care of my period, I use pads. Pads are for grown-up women to use during the period. They stick to my underwear and keep my pants and chairs clean. These pads collect the blood that drops from my privates so that it doesn't get to where it's supposed to. So you can see they have certain demonstrations on how a pad is stuck, and then how to get rid and dispose of a pad safely and in a very private manner, and also how to wrap and unwrap it, and also tell mom when the child is running low on pads and to stock up on pads. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I will now show you what a heating pad is and how you could use it for helping your daughter relieve herself of pain. Okay guys, see you soon in the next video, and thanks for watching. And this is Archana Raman, Occupational Therapist from Therapy Services for You, and our number for any consultations is 0091 951 448 1180. Thank you very much. So we're going to look at pain management options and heating pad options for your daughter. So one of the options is using a heating pad. This is an electric heating pad. It comes with a wire like this. You just have to plug it into the mains, and then you have this little remote control type thing that comes with this. Now the benefit of this is your child won't burn herself like she might do with a hot water bottle. And when you press this button, it turns itself on. And as you can see, it went from 1 to 5 there, and your daughter has the option of increasing or decreasing the amount of heat. This doesn't get very hot at all, and she can then keep it, assuming this is my tummy or pain area, just keep it on there and lie down for a bit. Remember, you don't lie down on this. So this retailed for 30 pounds about 4 or 5 years ago, and I got it from England. You can also get it from all the major pharmaceutical stores in any major state, or even in a small city. If you go to your wholesaler, where all the medical stores are, you can buy this for under 600 to 800 pounds, rupees, and you can also order this online, but get it directly from a store. Now the beauty with this is even if your daughter falls asleep after taking a pain medication and this is on her body, this is not going to burn her, and she can gently move it off to a side, and it reduces in heat after a little while gradually. So if the heat is on 5, it slowly comes down to 4, 3, 2 and 1, and it's timed. So this is a wonderful piece of equipment that I have been personally using for many years now. The next two options that I was talking about, hot water bottles, they're here. Sorry, I had to bend down to get it. So this one is one where it doesn't come with a cover. So what normally happens is, most people do the mistake of filling it up fully up to the brim, and usually a lot of young girls who knew that use it, if your pain is here, you would keep it on the area of pain and then take it off after a few minutes and so on. But if you directly keep it on the skin, it burns it can be a burning, very strong heat depending on how hot your water is. So I prefer something like this that has a cover to it. So you can either sew your own cover or get ones that have pre-made covers, and you can get very fancy ones too that have shapes, embroidery, unicorns and whatnot to entice your daughter to use it again. So you can have picture cards of this, and I've spoken about this a few minutes ago, and then your daughter can indicate what option she wants and show it to you or to the teacher at school that I'm in pain, I'm cramping, and I want to use this pain medication along with this type of heating pad to relieve myself of pain. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Good luck. Bye-bye.